Happy Tuesday. How has the weekend been? Ours was good, I guess. I don't remember. I don't remember. It's only Tuesday, but sometimes I feel like all the days just kind of swirl together. Today I'll be talking about parenting with a partner. And yeah, so this is something that has been coming up a lot last week. So I decided to talk about it today. For those of you who are watching for the very first time, hi, I'm Denise. I am a parenting coach who basically helps you enjoy parenting more. So I have been going live pretty regularly ever since they announced schools closing in Madrid. And so I've been going live basically just to share my personal experience of how we're going through this, as well as some tips to help you. So today, parenting with a partner. Before I begin, I'd really like to know, how did you and your partner meet? Okay, me and my partner and I met at San Fermines. Everyone's like, oh, but really we met through common friends, and it just so happened that it was in Pamplona in San Fermines. So yeah, that's how we met. And our parenting styles or our parenting approach or our childhoods are very different. So it comes to us to no surprise that although we might have the same values or the same way of looking at the world moving forward, we also have very different ways of expressing ourselves or treating our children. And I'm pretty sure that's a common thing in all parents, right? With all people who have partners, because I get a lot of moms, mostly moms are the ones who tell me this, because I work with mostly moms, although I'm more than happy to work with dads. And they tell me, oh, I wish that my partner would do the workshop with you. I wish my partner was also on this call. I could do that if only I had the support of my partner. And I get it. It's one of those things where, like, obviously, of course, it would help if you have your partner with you on the same page and kind of doing the same things that you are doing. But on the other hand, it also something to remember is that your partner is a completely different person, and we can't expect them to do things the exact same way that we do. We also have to kind of respect each other's differences. And when it comes to parenting, it's kind of extra hard because then you have the child, right, that you really want to support, and that maybe want the way that you would support them is really different from the way that your partner does. So it kind of can create this sort of conflict. And what I want to say now is that while I do believe that it is really important to have your partner with you and supporting you, I also want to remind you that you are in charge of your life. And while it might seem like it won't make a difference, when one person changes, the other person reacts to that change. So the same as how if you're working with me or just in general, when you decide to try something new with the way that you speak to your child, and you suddenly see how all these things change between you and your child, even though you're the only one really doing the work, the same thing happens with your partner, right? You can start changing the way that you see things, the way that you do things, and they will react to that change. So if you're currently going through this where you kind of just feel alone, and that you need more help and you're not getting the help from your partner, and you really wish that your partner were on the same page as you, know that I get it. I understand totally, but that doesn't mean that you can just give up. And just kind of just remember that you are still in charge of yourself, and there's still so much change that you can bring about just within yourself. And that's one thing that I just want to say, because a lot of times it's like, if only my partner, if only my partner. And really, it's sometimes like if we focus on ourselves and doing what we can do, the partner will follow or not. But but it's just that, like, focus more on what is that you can do instead of focusing on what your partner isn't doing. And so how does that work, right? So I want to share just like what works for us between me and my husband. And so I have 4 things here. It's alignment, acceptance, connection, and communication. So alignment is that we have actually had a conversation about what is it that's most important to us. What are the values that we want to kind of like pass on to our children? What are the goals, right? What type of children, what type of adults do we want our children to be? And so that way we are at least in alignment with the long-term goals, and that helps us with the everyday interactions, with just reminding each other, like, okay, remember what we said, remember that this is what we had wanted, right? So there's the alignment and when we do this, we decide, okay, what is it that's really important to us, and what is it that we're kind of a bit more flexible on? And that's just something that you have to decide between yourselves. And then after that, it's acceptance, right? It's accepting that the only person that I can change is myself. The only behavior that I can control is my own. And, that my partner, my children, everyone, we're all just doing the best that we can. And it's really just accepting sometimes just, this is how things are. Another thing that works for us is connection, where we just have those, I guess it's the same thing with my children. For me, connection is so important, where we kind of have those moments in the days where we just kind of like catch each other's eyes and just really remind ourselves that we are in this together. Why are we here, right? Why are we doing this together? And it's because of that love that we have. And so the connection kind of reminds us of that love. And the last thing, which is something that we're really working on, is communication. So before going on this whole parenting journey, I think like my tendency is to just like close and not share what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And so this has really been something that I have been working on until today, of just really making an effort to let him know what I am going through, because I can't expect him to read my mind. And so that's one thing that we do. So in related to connection and communication, one thing that we've started doing ever since this lockdown, and I think I've mentioned it before, is having Sunday evenings to ourselves, no phone, no TV, and it's just really a moment for us to have this connection time where I can kind of know, like, okay, this is like my safe space to share anything that I want with him. So those are really the things that work for us. It's alignment, acceptance, connection, and communication. And things that I have let go of are resentment and blame, right? So how did I let go of that? The resentment is through connection, through communication, by reminding myself that he cannot read my mind. So I have to tell him what it is that I'm going through. And the blame is just by, instead of focusing on the things that he isn't doing or the things that he should be doing, according to me, it's really focusing on the things that I can do, the things that are within my control. So that's what's been working for us. One other thing that I want to add, because I saw someone's comment about this, of how like she just isn't with her partner, like they just don't have, and she's a new parent as well. Like I think her baby is not even a year old. And I just want to say to all of those who are in that phase, that newborn phase, the transitioning from a couple to a family phase, it is really easy to get stuck in the identity of parent. And sometimes we have to make a conscious effort to remember that we are also a partner. And so, how this would look like for you would really depend on you and your relationship. But if you are in that moment and you just feel so disconnected and so far apart from your partner, then I really, really recommend that you talk to them about it. Or if you're like me and you have a really hard time talking to them about what you're going through, to just start doing different small actions to kind of rebuild that connection. Don't wait for them to read your mind and make the first move. If this is something that you want, then go for it. Find a way that you can make this happen. One thing that really works for us is this idea. It's from John Gottman, who is like the love doctor. And so it's called soft starts. And basically the idea is that when you have something that you want to share with your partner, you really focus on yourself, right? So it's like, first you describe what's happening, and then you say how you feel, and then you make a request. So it's like, when, for example, this is something that I have said in my head. It's like, when I see you looking at your phone when I see you looking at your phone and the kids are playing beside you, I feel frustrated because I want us to be spending time together as a family. So would you mind keeping your phone when we're all together? So the idea here is that you really focus on descriptions, not evaluations, not judgments. Really just try to say things matter-of-factly. And then you focus on yourself, on how you feel. That's basically, long story short, what a soft startup is. Next week, I'll actually be doing a workshop. And so in this workshop, I'll be talking about, it's called a problem-solving workshop, where it really, the tools are geared. Okay, so it's called a problem-solving workshop. And the focus of the workshop will be how you can use these 5 steps on your kids. However, these same 5 steps are used by marriage counselors and relationship therapists and negotiation lawyers. So these are actually steps that you can also apply with your partner. So if you found this idea of the soft starts interesting and you'd want to learn more, then I really highly recommend you sign up for my workshop. It's happening next week. It's online. So it's around this time. It's on Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. I will share the link in the video description. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at. We're just going to be looking at how you can improve your communication skills so that you feel seen and validated, and while at the same time the person you're speaking to, be it your partner or your child, also feels seen and validated, and together you can come up with solutions on how to improve your life, or how to at least make everything a lot more peaceful. So that's what's happening. Tomorrow I'll also be doing my bi-weekly Q&A series, so if you have any questions, please send them my way. And on Thursday I'll be talking to Shar about energy work. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.